Okay, everybody, let's talk about script analysis. Script analysis. This is a part of the dramaturgical process where we study the information presented in the script. As we read a play, or a musical, or a movie, or whatever that we are trying to produce, we need to understand the facts. What are we working with, really? So there are three basic categories: mood, theme, and then the given circumstances, which is going to be a whole lot of other words. So in the notes that I gave you, I think mood and theme are pretty easy to understand. Those are literary style terms. When we're looking at mood, we're looking at what do we feel as we read it? What do our characters experience? What kind of moods do we want the audience to feel as they see our work? Those are all different aspects of mood as a given circumstance, so slightly different from what you learn in your English classes. Theme. Theme is the message, the main idea. What is the writer saying by writing this particular play? Again, you can kind of jump off the diving board here, but theme and mood are both things that you decide. As long as they make sense, you can't get those wrong. But if you say Romeo and Juliet is a play about stock car racing and about how you should cheat at race cars to win, well, that's probably not correct, because you've left the whole story of Romeo and Juliet behind. So it's got to be related some way, shape, or form to the text. As long as it is your idea, then everything is going to be fine. So mood, emotions, theme, message. Remember that. Given circumstances. This is the hard one, because everyone gets this and their eyes glaze over and they just get really melodramatic about, I can't do it, it's too hard, Mr. Ward. It's not. Given circumstances are the facts, and I've even simplified this down, which will irritate the crap out of my older students. Time. When does this play take place? It's important that we know when, because when is going to dictate a lot of how we act and how we react. As an example, because again, I'm full of examples. If it's late at night, how are you going to react versus when it's real early in the morning, or it's in the middle of the day? Because that changes what you wear, how you move around. Time is important. Also the clothes that you wear. If you start talking about the era, if this was 1970s, I wouldn't be recording on a digital camera right now, would I? So time, when does a play take place? How long does it take? It's one of these very simple yet important aspects of play study. Place, where? Where does it take place? Place is a little bit of a duh. It takes place on Earth. Duh. The more specific you can be, the better. Because as we start to isolate down into different environments, we start to understand different ways of which people think and move. We've watched way too much HGTV over this pandemic break here. And one of the things that drives me nuts when we're watching these shows is people talk about island time. Time is time. But again, when you go someplace relaxing, you kind of don't care about time. It's an aspect of time based on where you are. So again, we need to know, where specifically are you? Where is the country, the state, the city, what buildings, what rooms? Because again, those are important things that we're going to design from a production standpoint. Society. Society is kind of complicated because it is rules of behavior that tend to be defined by geographic areas. That's really complicated. Let's make it very simple. So it is not uncommon on a sporting field for athletes, after a big play, to slap each other on the bottom, call each other baby, and slam their chests into one another in exhilarated exuberance. There's a little alliteration for you. That's totally cool there. You do that in the lunch line, and you're probably going to the principal's office. So, there's a time and a place. So if you want to think about it that way. Or if you had to go to court for whatever reason, you had a traffic ticket, and you go up and talk to the clerk, you're going to act a completely different way. You're going to dress a completely different way compared to you're just hanging out with your friends, waiting for the world to get back right. So again, where you are is going to dictate some of these behaviors. You need to look at these characters in these environments, and you need to think about what is going to dictate behavior. If we can go back to Dead in the Water, they're on a boat. Is rocking the boat something that they want to see happen? Probably not. especially the guy who can't swim, whose name I'm forgetting at this moment in time. These are all important things to understand because they help us, they drive us as an actor, they help us, put ourselves into that character's world. It allows us as a designer to build it, create it, and put it together. And the last one we're going to do is morality. Morality is why people make choices. This is real hard. So let's go back to the dead horse of Romeo and Juliet. In that particular story, Romeo and Juliet grew up, period specifically, in Roman Catholic household. That was the state. That was the religion of the time. That was Romeo had his buddy the priest. Okay, so Romeo and Juliet were both very well versed in contemporary religious practices. What did they do? They went and killed themselves. Instead of dealing with the other problems the way everyone else does, they just went and killed themselves by poison and by knife. Why? Why did they make that choice? And that kind of gets again to the crux of the entire play. Well, they got there because they were selfish children who only thought of themselves and didn't think about other people. Well, that's really harsh, Mr. Ward. Maybe you want to think about their choice in the context of, they're really two kids who are truly in love and they saw no other options because they could only be with this one person. Again, is either one right or wrong? No. Maybe. But what I want to see from you in any of these is your understanding of the script. Again, we can agree and disagree. That's fine. I agree and disagree with my students on things constantly. And that's fine. We can have an intelligent back and forth debate. Wonderful. On the flip side, if you say that the morality of Romeo and Juliet is stuff, that's just not going to fly. So again, make sure that when you write answers to me, when you write these things, that you're really thinking about the text. This is what's going to give you the foundations that you need in order to make choices as an actor. Well, I hope this helped out. Hopefully I didn't run too long here, but I will see you guys in the next one.